fires by what we call burning glasses. All these symbols are intriguing. And the great gods of the north, and the silence of these gods, dwelling forever above the earth, correspond, of course, to the Indian concept of Mount Meru, which is to the north. And in the Buddhist doctrine, Chang Shambhala, the city of the gods, means Chang, north. It means that it is the city of the north. And it is said that it is so glorious and so magnificent that lights are forever radiating from it. The Aurora Borealis. This house of the gods in the great north corresponds to the entire great concept of primitive Aryan myth and ritual. The ritual brought down from India along the migrations of the Aryans down the Indo-Gangetic plain long, long ago. Nor can we say that other peoples were not aware of these things. In your Central American complex of cultures, your pyramid builders and so on, you have great consideration given to the north and to the mystery that is hidden there, and the recognition that it has to do with the secret source of the universe, the great darkness from which light came. Because in all these systems, the great sun globe is always the child of heaven, the symbol of the first and only begotten of the veiled mother who is space, whose mystery no man can solve. The sun gods then go into their infinite diversity of activities. But always the sun god is a child of fatality. And we have another interesting group of legends arising which are called the myth of the dangerous child. This is the child whose coming is predestined and looked forward to by the wise, whose birth darkness attempts to prevent by despotism, who finally rises triumphant over his enemies, becomes the ruler of his kingdom, is betrayed and dies, and is buried at the winter solstice. Buried, as the ancient legend tells us, over the brow of a hill. And here he remains until by 3 degrees or 3 days or 3 signs he is raised again at Easter. And this great cycle goes on and on and on. The cycle of the religious mystery of the sun divinity. Many times we find the solar face also. Among the Peruvians and among the peoples of the great South American complex that finally came under the control of the Inca chieftains, Viracana, the god of the air, was worshipped by kissing the sunbeam. All you did was face it and kiss the light, and that was your adoration for God. The symbol, the supreme symbol in that area, was the great golden disk of the sun. And the story is told that it was a disk of solid gold and jewels 11 feet in diameter. And when the conquistadors under Pizarro divided up the spoils, one of them got this sun disk as his spoil by a throw of dice, and a few moments later lost it to another soldier by another throw of dice. That was the way things were done in those days. But these people undoubtedly recognize the same basic concept. Their rites and ceremonies and what we learn of their religion shows that they also based all of their calculations upon the sovereignty of the solar power and its great journey. This is the dangerous journey of the sun, the hazardous journey, which is beset by all manner of problems, like the journey of Siegfried down the river, the great Rhine journey, that leads him finally to the house of the Gibachun, where he is betrayed and killed by Hagen, the symbol of winter, the dark one. These different emblems, and we find them everywhere, also show in the Maya complex. On the Casa de las Monas at Chichen Itza, Yucatan, the so-called House of the Nuns, there is over the doorway of the ecclesia, or small chapel, the great one, Itzamna, the Lord of the mysteries, he of the azure plumes of the bird of paradise. And he is seated in the solar egg, surrounded by rays of light going in all directions. He is the great one whose tabernacle is in the sun. Beneath him spread out the ancient hieroglyphs for water. Around him clouds and lightning. But he is the great solar one. Now later, from him, by an immaculate conception, by the Virgin Xochitl, was born Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, the symbol of the sun's path and also of the same mysterious modes of the lunar arc which cause what we call today the dragon's head and tail in astrological research, the motion of the lunar orbit. And this great deity, Quetzalcoatl, was the good god, the sun god. He wore the bonnet of the quetzal plumes, which was the symbol of the solar light rays, the feathers going out in all directions. For the quetzal is the bird that is born of the sun, and when the time comes for it to die, it flies back to the sun. And the quetzal, like the thunderbird of the American Indian, is just another phoenix. And this again is the symbol of priesthoods, the symbol of the wise ones, or the sun gods, the sun-born ones, who are the keepers of the ancient mysteries. And this Quetzalcoatl served his people well, brought them out of darkness and ignorance. But finally there came from the south the evil one, the red-mirrored god Tezcatlipoca, the god of Mars. And this evil deity destroyed the power of the sun god. And the sun god departed finally upon a raft of serpents from the shores at Veracruz, promising to return. But this whole cycle was a sun-Venus cycle, and the astronomy of these people proves it. The pyramid of the sun at Chichen Itza is an absolutely correct astronomical representation of the year. There are just as many steps on that pyramid as there are days in the year, and so on. All of these buildings astronomically built and oriented. And at the apex of the year, in the high point, was the temple to the deity. The deity itself represented by the feathered serpent or the dragon. And the feathered serpent again, the symbol of the year, as in the Mexican calendar, where all the divisions on the calendar stone, the months of the year, are placed as scales upon the body of a serpent. Thus every part of this mythology, and it is this same serpent, which is Python, which is slain by the sun god every year, when he overcomes the year and becomes master of life, or the keeper of the year. And every year also at the end, the year destroys him, and the new sun god must be born. So out of all of these concepts, perhaps you will have some general idea of the part that astronomy has played in religious symbolism. Now, we do not say that astronomy has given the meaning, but we do say that it has constituted the convenient symbolism and has rationalized and made authentic the outer structure of the mystical philosophy that is based upon the inner meaning of these symbols. And as we go through the series, we will try to explore that also, to find the ideas that are behind the use of these symbolic forms. But I'm afraid for that you're going to have to wait till next week.